Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. And this time we take a look at the 1998 Honda Accord SiR-T. Another Accord saloon to take on our cores. We've had the 96 and the 97 and this is the 98. Functionally it is identical to the 97. The only real difference is the 97 you get it from the used dealer, whereas this you get it from the new dealer, which means I could paint it in any colour I wanted out of the 7 it comes in. And so I went for this, I think it's Cypress Green. I think it's the same sort of colour that was on that four-wheel drive Accord wagon we had a while back. It's just a very nice colour, sets off the car very nicely, I think. This is a Japanese market Accord, as seen by its rear end treatment. Also, I think this was known as the Turismo in some markets, but here it is a proper Accord. GT2 Plus does fix numerous issues with the Accords because the Accords did not get much love from Polyphony. And one of the things they do is correct the power from 193 PS to 200 PS. And so if you see a slight power increase on this Accord compared to what you usually see in your version of the game, that is why. Front engine, front wheel drive, 356 horsepower, 1,157 kilograms. Actually quite powerful for a front wheel drive saloon car, so we'll see if that helps it out or not. This car is... okay, it's a 5-speed, thank god. This car is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Audi TT LM Edition. That car set time of a 26.690. This Accord is unlikely to beat that. Now, in terms of Accords, the 96 is the clear favourite. That's that time of a 30.4. But the previous 97 Accord which we had, which bear in mind was one of the very first cars to go around, so that does sort of affect it a little bit. That had a race mod and that's at a time of 31.1. So yeah, sort of see where the 98 Accord can deal with from there. Of course, the race mod on this car famously based on the British touring car that was running around this time, although despite the fact that that was actually a European market Accord, which means it was, well, quite different looking actually, based on the, well, I say based on, it was sister car with the Rover 600, which is something. Both cars probably being the jewel in their range, if you will. The Accord looked quite nice, and so did the Rover. To be fair, I don't usually praise Rover too much, but I actually quite like the sort of way their cars looked aesthetically. A bit sort of old person-y, sure, but yeah, they're still sort of quite nice cars to look at. Straight away, a couple of issues with this. One is second gear is long. Can't use first gear for any of these corners because it only goes up to 67 kilometers an hour, whereas second gear will go all the way to 110, which is ridiculous. As a result, there is a lot of time in this car where you're sort of waiting for the power to come in, which is a bit of a problem. The other slight issue with this as well is it doesn't handle too badly for sort of a family saloon car. It's sort of what you would expect. A little bit sort of drifty on the front wheels, bit sort of understeery, if I did have to say so. It doesn't drive like a car with 350 horsepower. It drives much more like a car with like 280, 290, 30.854. That is actually pretty much bang middle of the road for a car around here. So, see if we can go any quicker on this final lap. It isn't an easy car to drive, this one. It is one of those cars where you need to sort of really get on board with your lines and yeah, not gonna quite have the front end grip to pull it round there. Yeah, a little bit of a not very great car to drive. It's not awful or anything. I definitely think the race mod would help this. I'm a bit sad that the 97 ran as early as it did, because to be honest with you, this car with race mod would be good. But we do of course still have one Accord saloon to go, and it is the mighty Type R, so that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, either way, I mean, it's not a terrible time for this car, 30.854. I think if you was to really really figure out sort of where to get the power down and all the rest of it around this course, I think you could probably knock 0.1 off of that and get it into the 30.7s, but that might be wishful thinking. It would take a lot to get it into there, so yeah, not quite ideal, but no, it was all right. It was okay. It just wasn't like, again, I would have to say I'd choose the 96 over this, because it was just quicker, but yeah, still not too bad. A 30.854 will place this into 257th place. Goes in between the Citroen Zara and the Honda Civic Type R. It is quicker than an Opel Tigra, quicker than the Stahl 3-door, quicker than the Alfa Romeo 166 Twin Spark, which is something. It is slightly slower than the Citroen Saxo, Mitsubishi FTO, Honda NSX Type S, crucially slower than the Ford Mondeo and the Nissan Primera. In terms of this car, sort of BTCC rivals, it is unfortunately down on all of them pretty much. Slower than Primera, slower than the Mondeo, slower than the V6 Vectra, slower than Laguna, slower than 406, but yeah, again, I'm sort of calling, if this had the race mod on it, I think it'd be a little bit more competitive, but as it stands today, that way it goes on the leaderboard, which is fine. That's pretty sort of mid-pack for this leaderboard so far in this series, so not bad, not bad. I am coping, don't worry. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I will be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.